What is going on, everybody? DJ Waters 22 here, and in today's video, Diablo 2 Resurrected has some more quality of life changes. I think this is the second week in a row that we got some Diablo 2 Resurrected news, and damn, this one's good too, honestly. I briefly read through it, and I gotta say, I'm kind of nerding out because there's something in here that I've been waiting a really long time for. And if you're not a Diablo nerd like me, maybe it's not a big deal to you, but one of the quality of life changes to me is huge. As always, I'd appreciate it if you liked this video, left a comment, and consider subscribing. It really helps to get my videos out there. And without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so this just came out from Blizzard Entertainment today, July 20th, 2021, titled How We're Making Diablo 2 Resurrected More Accessible to Everyone. If you want to read the philosophy and a lot of the beginnings, I'll go ahead and post that in the description below, but we're going to go straight into the quality of life changes, quality of life opportunities, get early wins with the accessibility improvements like auto gold pickup, which I do love the idea of this, larger font sizes, UI scaling on Windows, PC, and options like gamma and contrast settings to enhance readability. But we knew that there were even more opportunities to improve accessibility to further enhance the gameplay of Diablo 2 for many of our current and potential future players. Obviously, everyone knows about Pluggy, everyone knows about Project Diablo 2 and all these mods and everything. They're fully aware, and that's pretty much what they're saying here. Let's take auto gold pickup as an example. Our initial inspiration for this feature's implementation was for the controller players to not need to click as much, but we were pleasantly surprised to see mouse and keyboard players with limited mobility in their hands really enjoy this feature during the technical alpha. So I see that they're talking about controller. I actually didn't get the time to play with the controller. I was really bummed about that. I didn't have access more than a couple days, unfortunately, due to work, but it would have been really nice to try controller. So if you try the controller, let me know. But I will be playing on PlayStation 4 as well as PC, so I look forward to hearing about this. If a player with a disability or hand injury was looting in Diablo 2 Resurrected, this option could alleviate physical stress without compromising the core gameplay experience. While we implemented this option with one type of player in mind, we ended up benefiting countless others players by giving them the quality of life they could choose to enable when they configure with their Diablo 2 experience. I'm good with that, man. To be honest, I never even considered that. People with hand injuries, people with certain limitations. I'm good with that, man. This exhibits the solve for one extend to many principle, leading to a greater impact throughout the player community. One fascinating issue we diagnosed early was that players weren't getting the right level feedback for when they were missing enemies in melee. This is something I've always thought about in Diablo 2. Am I actually hitting them? Am I not? When you dive into how Diablo 2 works, it's rolling dice on the back end, as it's a role-playing game first and foremost. You could be right on top of a monster and your sword might animate through the target as though a strike landed, but in actuality your stats rolled poorly, so that attack was a whiff. So I guess a whiff would be like a miss, right? That's a sound system. The problem was the game wasn't telling players what happened loud enough. You know what that looks like in a modern game? A bug. So I know it's kind of hard to see, but if you look really closely, it'll say miss. If you've ever played Diablo 2, I'm sure that you have missed the enemy countless times. I know I have. Sometimes I'm thinking to myself, did I actually miss him? Am I doing something wrong? Because I'll play in Windows mode. Is my mouse off the monitor? I don't know what's going on. From my understanding, they're saying if you don't like it, you can always take it off. So I'm good with that. Like, I love extra features as long as you can disable them and enable them at any time. So we added an option to enable missed text. It's a small thing. Purists don't need it. But what it does is provide a level of feedback to the players who don't know how all the inner systems are working and reinforces the RPG element of our game. Yeah, I like this. This is a cool change. I mean, I don't know if I'll use it. I might use it, probably won't need to, but I can understand, they're trying to modernize the game to some extent. It is 2021. They are remastering it. There's going to be a lot of people that come in, right? And don't be such a purist that you're like, oh, everybody knows everything about Diablo 2, because everybody doesn't know everything about Diablo 2. There's a lot of people who are going to be playing Diablo 2 Resurrected that don't know anything about Diablo. It might be the first Diablo 2 game. So yeah, the fact that you can enable it and disable it, I'm cool with that. I support that 100%. Another key piece of accessibility is key bindings. Allowing players to set their station fully is critical. Our control scheme for controllers allows for heavy amounts of modification, and we support a long list of bindable actions for the mouse and keyboard. We provide 12 bindable keys and allow all action skills to be assigned in any way the player desires. Again, I like this because some people like to play inverted, or they like to play very strange on consoles, not just like the default Andes. So I don't know, that'd be really interesting. I'm all for that to support this. If you even created new bindable neutral skills like interact, allowing for complete customization. And I'll admit, I only played Diablo 3 like one time on the console. You know, I could definitely feel like it was very different. It wasn't like that PC kind of vibe. So yeah, that's cool with me. Diablo 2 is primarily a game about picking up and holding items and persistently clicking. We know that prolonged hold and repetitive actions can be a significant barrier for some players. We've added quality of life features to help mitigate the fatigue caused by many of these actions. I'm assuming that's only for console. I didn't see anything about mouse and keyboard. I don't feel like you really have that problem with mouse and keyboard as much, unless you're like Ryu speed running or whatever. But for example, now players can toggle actions such as viewing items on the ground to be on click versus on hold. Man, the options are so much better in Diablo 2 Resurrected. Show item tooltip button prompts. Okay, again, you mean check this, you don't like that, you can keep it purist and everything. This improvement prevents the need to keep pressure on a button for a prolonged time. So I think we understand what they're saying here. Basically, for console players, you got to make it more accessible. Controllers are very different, right? Your mouse, you would just scroll over pretty far, but with controllers, it's a little bit different. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And now the moment I've been waiting to tell you about: audio accessibility. Getting the most out of audio is also a critical second channel piece of feedback for players in Diablo 2. With the number of audio cues going on, we felt we should allow players to manually augment their sound channels, pulling what they don't think is essential and enhancing what they prefer. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have been asking for this for like 10 plus years, but I know I just constantly was like, man, I wish I could turn that sound down, or I could just hear that sound over there. You know what I mean? I don't always want to hear at this loud sound, especially someone like me that has like music in the background or something going on. I don't know, you're watching on your second monitor when you're playing offline or something, and you just don't want to hear a specific sound because it's just too loud. Like, this is huge, at least to a nerd like me of Diablo 2. In the options menu, players can adjust the volume levels of a multitude of audio channels. These sliders allow you to adjust the audio levels of voices, UI cues, footsteps, monster hit impacts, weapon noises, ambient objects, combat gore, and so much more. Here's what that's gonna look like. Oh my god, dude, look. You turn voices down, other sound effects, the user interface, items, monsters, skills, ambient, combat. Like, this was so needed because before it was music and it was just sounds, right? All of this, for those who don't know, were rolled up into one. It was just, I'm not gonna say annoying, but at times it definitely got a little bit too much for me. I'm really curious to see if others think that that's a big one, because I don't know, I've been talking about this at least for 10 years. With the options we provide, we hope that players attune their audio to their playstyle, including situational accessibility needs. Perhaps if you're streaming, oh wow, I didn't even read that. Yeah, perhaps if you're streaming or your baby is asleep. Dude, I have a baby. Oh, what? It feels like are you talking about me, Blizzard? Are you talking about me right now? You can now enable or disable audio to ensure you're getting the proper feedback at the level that you want. We have more optimal accessibility features beyond what I've highlighted above in the works for players to enhance their experience as discussion. At their discretion. We'll continue to remain focused on how to take a true classic and modernize accessibility for all players. Our team has the most fun when everyone is having fun, and we do our best to enable as many players possible in Diablo 2 Resurrected. Drew McRory, I hope I'm not butchering his name there. As Drew noted, we'll continue to look for feedback that points to the ways we can make our game more accessible. Our team has previously sought feedback for a variety of players, including those with disabilities. That's really cool. I didn't know that Blizzard was talking to people with disabilities. So, I mean, I like that a lot. To make Diablo 2 Resurrected as accessible as possible between text to speech. Oh, yeah, I never thought of that. Text to speech. That's really cool. Yeah, for people who can't hear. And screen reader support for adding controller configurations to allow players who predominantly play with one hand to swap their analog sticks interchangeably. Like my son, he's left-handed. So like I said, I'd love him to play at some point. As a community, we'll continue to evaluate areas to improve. We are grateful to these players for identifying challenges that would hinder the experience or make the game less enjoyable, and several of these options highlighted above were inspired by or implemented because of their valuable insights. And we're at the ending here. Ultimately, Diablo 2 Resurrected has been a labor of love, refitted by passionate fans who fondly remember the original, who are eager to build more lifelong memories with the new generation. We want everyone from experienced veterans to new players, and regardless of platform or mobility, to enjoy the timeless experience of Diablo 2. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, I appreciate you so much. Please put in hashtag I made it. That way I just know in the comment section that you actually made it this far. I'm super excited about this news. I can't believe it. 2 weeks in a row, man. It genuinely feels like this Diablo team cares about Diablo. They're giving us updates 2 weeks in a row. Like, that's unheard of. What if we got a third update of some kind, even if it's not a change? Just talking about this, like, I don't know how you guys feel, but I want to hear more from Blizzard. You know, I love it when they just talk to us. Hey, this is what we're working on. Hey, this is what we got going on. This is what we're excited. Like, that makes me excited. That makes the fans excited. That makes other streamers excited. It gives us something to talk about, right? And that's what it's all about, the community and everything. So what's going on with me and my channel this Friday, the 23rd of July, Project Diablo 2 is having a ladder reset. I want to go hardcore. The problem with going hardcore on this ladder is I heard that they're doing weekly softcore duels, like tournaments, and I'm like, oh, come on, man. Oh, I don't want to miss like server wide tournaments. Like, dang, dude, everybody would be playing it and I would just be sitting there on hardcore. So I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Before they announced these huge tournaments, I was definitely gonna go hardcore. Now I'm kind of like, I don't know. What are you guys gonna do? Convince me either way. Softcore, hardcore this Friday. I don't want to miss out on the tournaments, but I love hardcore. I think I've rambled enough, guys. Check me out at twitch.tv/DJWars22. I'll see you guys on the next video. Consider joining the Discord and check us out on Twitter. Peace.